We'll start this lesson off by watching a skateboard sliding along the pavement. Much like Jennifer on her skateboard, a translation is a slide from one location to another. A translation is not a change in size, and a translation is not a change in orientation. When translating a point P with coordinates x, y, we can use the capital T notation. Our point P with coordinates x, y is translated to the new point P prime. Notice that the A and B values correspond with the x and y coordinates of the point P as it's translated to P prime. By applying these values, we can find the coordinates of the image P prime. Let's start our first example by performing the following transformation on line segment PQ. We can start by writing down the coordinates of the endpoints of PQ with P at 3, 0 and Q at 6, -6. Now, since this line segment is being translated, we know that P prime and Q prime will have different coordinates than P and Q. Since our first value is a -8, we'll subtract 8 from both x values. And remember that the x-axis is horizontal, so a -8 for x means moving to the left 8 spaces. Our second value, +4, corresponds with the y values, so we will add 4 to each y value. And that is the same thing as going up 4 units. And now that we have our path laid down, we can look at the graph and visualize that line segment PQ being translated to its new location at P prime, Q prime. Finally, we can verify our final coordinates by finding the first x value, 3 - 8, is -5. 0 + 4 is just +4. And now for Q prime, 6 - 8 is equal to -2. And the final coordinate, -6 + 4, is equal to -2. Notice that these points correspond with our graph for the image of line segment P prime, Q prime. Now we can visualize and conceptualize just what it means for a line segment to be translated by sliding it from one location on the coordinate plane to another. For our last example, we are going to construct the image of triangle E prime, F prime, G prime after the following transformation. We'll start off by writing down the coordinates of the vertices of triangle E, F, G. To find the coordinates of E prime, F prime, and G prime, we'll start by applying the values of the translation. The x value is 6, so we're going to add 6 to all of the x values in each coordinate. +6 calls for us to slide 6 units to the right horizontally along the x-axis. Next is the y value of -1. We are going to subtract 1 from all of the y coordinates. On the graph, -1 means to move down vertically 1 unit along the y-axis. Now to verify the coordinates of E prime, F prime, and G prime. We start by adding 6 to each x coordinate, and that will give us the new x coordinate of E prime, F prime, and G prime. We'll do the same thing with the y coordinates by subtracting 1 from each to get those new y coordinates. Now we can look at the graph and visualize the original image being translated to the right 6 units and down 1 to its new location at E prime, F prime, G prime. And we can see that our points E prime at -2, -2, F prime at +6, +1, and G prime at 3, -9 all correspond. And we can take one last look at that figure, taking a slide across the coordinate plane. Some quick final words on translation. A translation is when a point or image changes location without changing size or direction. We know that the notation for translation requires applying the a value to the x-coordinate and the b value to the y-coordinate. Just like a skateboarder, a translation is a slide from one location to another.